All right, welcome everybody to the Combat Lounge. This is your boxing edition. We missed you guys last week. Your boy Truly Tony, he was under the weather, man. I'm still getting used to this desert weather, man. Every time the weather changes, it seems like my body is just like, hold on, we need to stop and reassess what we're doing here. But without further ado, today, we have a great prospect with this. And actually, I'm going to actually slide that prospect turn to the side, and we're going to start talking to a fringe contender because that's what I believe that he is on the path of doing. This kid comes from Mesa, Arizona. That is in the United States for some of you guys that are just so privileged to be in some of those big cities. But yes, Mesa, Arizona. This is a how do I want to put it? Put some royalty on this kid's name. He is somebody that has put a lot of work in already into his craft. He is Mayweather Promotions' youngest signee, and today we have Micky Scala with us. Micky Scala, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Great. So, I had spoke up on you actually to Leonard at an event before. We were talking about things that he was looking forward to 2023, and a lot of the young talent that you guys have over there at that camp.
Yeah.
And threw your name up there. He's like, oh, he threw his head back and he just shook his head. He's like, yeah, man, yeah. He's very proud of bringing you over. I do have some things I have some questions, but I'm not going to go in order. So,
Okay.
We might go forward, might go back a little bit, but
That's fine.
keep you on your toes. I know you're used to that. I know you're used to that. First, though, I'm going to go with my first impression. Well, I've watched a few of your fights, so live, not just, let me go back and see this. But my impression is that you are a boxer puncher that constantly adjusts, and you really, no problem.
Let me close that door
For sure,
real
for
quick.
sure. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I'm getting what we're going to get into is talking about Micky's style. And please also people go ahead and chime in the comment box. Love for you guys to give us your feedback. Please hit that like, subscribe. Okay, so back to what we're talking about. So the impression that I have from you is a boxer puncher who makes constant adjustments, and really you have a really good command and respect for the jab and know how to use it to get the things done that you want to get done. Do I kind of have that accurate as far as how you
Yeah,
like
yeah. No, yeah, that's a great assessment of my style. Love my jab. Everything happens behind the jab, and if you got a good jab and it's landing, a lot of other stuff will land behind it. I do want to mix in my combinations a little bit more, so I do pick my shots right now. So, or that's like how you're kind of describing. I'll make you miss and I'll hit you with two or three, you know what I mean? But
Mhm.
I do want to open those up with combinations because those are the ones that eventually get you, you know what I mean? So, like you said, I have a great jab. I like to use it, and then I want to mix in my combinations a little bit more than I already do.
Yeah, that's where the boxer puncher came in, because I'm like, oh yeah, once he makes you miss, or you will you probably like use a body shot to then kind of like watch how your opponent reacts, and
Exactly.
you're kind of like, oh yeah, okay. I kind of like, sometimes it's like I see them try to walk through it or go through it, even though I know they felt that, and they
Yeah.
felt that. It's like, oh, okay, you like that, and then you will actually faint, like you're going for it again, and you come
Uh-huh.
over the top, with that overhand.
Exactly.
Like an overhand is like, I've seen it work.
That that's what those like feints open up so many opportunities. It's just like
Mhm.
if someone's the same speed as you in a race and you running in that race, if they have 2 feet head start, they're gonna win that race if they're the same speed as you. So if you have that feint and you add that in, it's just gonna make people think about it, and then you're gonna,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, open up different shots. You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And body punching, man. That's something that typically like uh, young guys typically don't like really hone in or really like re- really add it to their toolbox late into their career. But you're doing this early.
Yeah, we were like that in the amateurs. We were throwing body shots before people were throwing body shots. You know what I mean? Because you don't see that much in the amateurs either.
Mm.
So we love the body, and we've been, like you said, throwing body shots since I was a kid. So now, like you said, now I got it early in my career, and it's already developed. So that opens up a lot, or it slows people down. So we like to go to the body and go to the body often.
And it makes sense because it's like, man, on tape, it just it's a perception like, oh man, he doesn't like I've heard like, oh, he doesn't really have a lot of speed, and I'm kind of like, he doesn't have to use a lot of speed because that body work is so devastating. It's like that, you take out the body, the head will fall with it. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? So
exactly.
you don't have to really create. You don't have to do a lot to create those shots.
Yeah, and I heard that commentary in over the last one, and I
Mm.
think as the fight went on, he started to realize that I had a lot more speed than I did. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
Because I know the speed's there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like that was a little bad assessment on that guy's end, commentating on the fight, because I know my speed's there, and my speed competes for everybody. Like
Right.
I've been in the ring with some real guys, and I know you're not gonna be hitting people if you're slow.
Hmm.
So I know
Hmm.
that speed's there.
Yeah, 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 and definitely placement too.
Hmm.
Placement, because of course you're most situations you're putting your punches where they're going to be,
Yeah.
um, and it definitely was a bad assessment because as we saw. At the end of that, Ricardo's like, oh man,
Yeah. And then
that right
timing
there.
too.
Yeah.
Timing's so important as well, because
Hmm.
if, like you said, along with the placement comment, if someone's moving their head here, and you time it, or you throw a feint and you set that up, boom, that's where that all comes in. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah. And that feint, you're so, especially like when you're in your bag, and they're starting to like, show some kinks in the armor. You'll run up on them and give them that, just to see what
yeah,
you can do, and then
make them flinch or react, and then throw off of it.
yeah,
Great
yeah,
setup.
yeah. And I was gonna say, uh, I felt like Ricardo was trying to take advantage of you, maybe getting impatient, and you just refused to get impatient with what you were doing. And Ricardo, he was 26-1, 20,
Yeah, 20 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw.
he was 21,
Yeah,
6 lost.
very, very experienced.
Very, yeah, very, very. And I said, I was actually there. And we saw each other in the
I saw you at
weigh-in.
the weigh-ins. I didn't know you stayed out to the fight, huh?
Yeah,
Woo, it was a
yeah.
late
I'm a
night.
local out here. Well, I'm a local out here, man.
Oh,
So
you're on Vegas. Okay,
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So definitely, I've been telling Kate. I said, man, let him know when he works out here, man. I'll cover that, man. We'll chop it up, man.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll definitely get into that. But yeah, back to what I was saying. You actually confirmed that, saying that you've been in the ring with a lot of guys, sparring a lot of guys, that patience already at this stage as well as part of your toolbox too. Tell us about that.
Yeah, kind of like we were talking about before, like with like the feint and the jab and all that stuff. Like patience just opens up many opportunities, and a lot of the time, like even if I'm being aggressive and I'm walking you down, I'll still be in that range where I can make adjustments. You know what I mean? And that comes with instead of just jumping in there because I see something like that I can throw like 3 punches off it or something. Now I'm gonna be
Mm-hmm.
patient. I'm gonna throw that jab, and I'm gonna see how you react, and I'm gonna see what's open or what is not open on the front foot and on the back foot. I like to do
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
And like you said, I've picked that up. Like I've been in the ring with world champions. You know what I mean? So I know, I know, like I see patients work firsthand, you know? So if I see it and I can mimic it, I know it's gonna be great, you know what I mean? Or I know it's gonna land. So that's just great experience in general, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some people, um, and because my background is jujitsu, but it's like primarily rooted in boxing. My grandfather was a light heavyweight champion, and just been a part of the family. But a
Awesome.
lot of people don't understand, like in any kind of combat or combat sport, hell, 3 minutes is a long time, but hell, a
Yeah,
minute can be a long time.
yeah,
A lot can happen in 30 seconds. Right?
yeah, yeah. That boxing time, sometimes it can feel like a long time, like you said, or sometimes it can go like that, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
yeah, yeah.
it's weird. It's a weird, like, it's a weird feeling. Um, I don't know. It's very unique to combat sports
Right, right.
in
It's like
general.
you're sparring or whatever, and maybe this is one of the more physical guys, and he's laying on you, and you're just like, you're doing what you're doing, and then you
Mhm.
kind of take that look up, and you're like, oh my god, it's a minute and 30 left. Let's go.
No, that's what we like to spar up. I'm talking about like level wise, like when I was even since I was a kid, like an amateur, I was 14 sparring 16-year-olds. I was 15 sparring grown men. I was 16 sparring grown, whatever it was. You know what I mean? We like to spar at that higher level because if you spar at that higher level, you know in your head, if you can hang with these guys in sparring, you're gonna be able to hang with anybody in a fight. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
person you're fighting, no matter who you are fighting, they're not gonna be on that level. You know
For
what I
sure.
mean?
Yeah.
So that's what we like to do. We like to even in amateur tournaments back in the day. I was 16 years old fighting in the 17, 18-year-old division. We didn't dodge any tournaments, just because we're on the younger side of things. We didn't, oh, we'll skip it, we'll go next year because then we'll be older. You know what I mean? We were in it, and we were fighting everybody, and we are doing well. So I think
Hmm.
that helped me advance a lot, because a lot of the time you're gonna fight to your opposition too.
And let's talk about the amateur career, because guys like Lomachenko, so forth, like they have a very decorated amateur career, and I don't know if a lot of people know. I don't know if a lot of people in our audience knows. Um, Mickey here has had 101, if I'm correct, if
Yeah,
my research is correct, 101 total amateur fights,
yeah.
winning 87 of those. You have, and now I know you started at 140, and that's kind of like another question I'm going to get into. But
Yeah,
I know you did start. You turned pro and you came out at 140.
yeah.
Um, Throughout your amateur career, like how many weight classes did you go through, and how
Um,
was that process for you?
so the last couple years, every national tournament that I went to, I went up a weight class.
Mm,
So like I was just growing. I was 15, I was 14 to 16 years old in my last 2 years. So that's just like prime time, like growing. And I was going into high school my freshman year, I was like 5'2", 5'3", you know what I mean? And by the time I got to senior year, I was 6'1", and then after that fight, I was 6'2". Like now I'm 6'2", I still grew out throughout that time. But as an amateur, I was just competing at national tournaments. Um and then I just continued to do that. Like when I turned pro, I was only 16 years old. So like you said, that was at 140.
yeah.
Um then I won, and then all of a sudden I'm 2 inches taller or an inch and a half taller, you know what I mean? So it's like I don't know if I can do 140 no more. So then I went to
Right, right,
147.
right, right. Because
Uh-huh.
you did that catch weight, I think 144, right after that, or something like that, and
Yeah, I was
then
at that one was at 147. We just came in light. I
okay,
was I was 144, yeah. And
okay,
then um after that fight, I grew another inch. You know what I mean? So it was just like, and then there was a year and a half because of COVID. You know what I mean? And I was in the gym, so it wasn't like a being in shape thing or staying
hmm,
disciplined thing. I was just growing. My body was maturing, and I just had to move up. And then
yeah.
since then, I fought my last 5 fights at 154.
Uh-huh. And so, great, because that segues right into a question that I have, because I think you're still growing. I think you're still growing. What do you walk around? What is your walk around, and do you see yourself moving up at any point? Which I'm going to safe to assume at 6'2", of course. I mean, why, you can go. You have at least the height to go get it at 168, 164, 168. You can,
Yeah.
there's a lot of room for you to achieve a lot of big things. Is that even in the grand scheme of the Micky Scala career that you want to have?
No, I got you. Like right now, I'm focused on 154. You know what I mean? Staying at 154. I walk around at like around 170.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to do one thing at a time, one fight at a time. So
Sure.
right now, I'm fighting at 154, and I'm fighting there for as long as I can make it. Hopefully, I can get some titles there. But like you said, we all got dreams. We all fighters. You know what I mean? We all want to be multiple division world champions, and I'd probably top out at like 168 if I went up in there. Like you said, I got the frame for it. It's just you got to be patient and physically mature properly, and do everything right, because everything's about timing.
Absolutely. Because like you said, you going 170 down to 154, you get to 168. That's guys looking 190, 200.
Yeah. That's what I don't even like right now. I walk around like 170, so
Yeah.
I'm not even carrying weight like crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as time goes on and I do get older and I mature more, I'm sure I'll be walking around a lot heavier, which would make more sense to fight at a higher weight.
That's right. So let's see. So Triple G would be out of the question. He'd be out of here. I would hope not to see him back.
I'm sure he's retiring here pretty soon.
Yeah. Okay, so we did talk about you being the youngest to be signed by Mayweather Promotions. Ellerbe, man, he is a real guy. Like he gives it to you really straight. When you did sign with him, who did you talk to first? You talk to Floyd, talk to Ellerbe, or did you talk
Leonard.
to Kenny, or like who who did you talk to first?
Leonard was
Okay.
the guy I talked to first. Yeah. Been on the phone with, talk to him. It's just crazy. It's like surreal to me. You know what I mean? Because you grow up watching Floyd and you see him walking him out, and all of a sudden you're on the phone with him. Like it's just like, wow. You know what I mean? Like you did. Dude, put yourself in that position. Like I was on a hot streak coming like towards the end of my amateur career. I was winning big fights, and like capturing titles, all that stuff, and that just put me in a position to be where I am now. So it was like you said, surreal to me just to be able to talk to him and then confirm that I'm a part of the team, be able to announce it that day, like because I signed a few months before I could even announce it. So I'm just cooking, like sitting there with that information. I'm just like, oh my god.
He's finding out like who you can trust. Like, hey, if I tell you,
if I tell you, don't tell nobody. Yeah. So we were doing that for a little bit, and it was just like a real exciting thing just to do, just to announce and come out with that information.
Yeah. And because I've had conversations with him. I believe I could say this part of the conversation where he told me how he is a fan of underdogs. He's a fan of he loves to see guys that have the potential and the talent get opportunities. And I think Ricardo was a big jump from as far as experience level. From your last few fighters, and so now you're starting to kind of. So now it's safe to say that you're seeing, you're leveling up. So what's next right now? What's cooking right now?
We should be fighting the next couple months. I can officially announce it probably here pretty soon. It's still like getting like the 100%. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But, early May, you should see me again. And then whoever they throw at me, you know what I mean? We have a good team. and we just all talk it out and we work it out, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so,
Well, I'm hoping the location is somewhere close.
yeah,
Combat Lounge will definitely pull up
no, I got you.
for that for sure, for sure. Um, you live in the gym. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You know, that's the mentality and everything like that. Um, what does that commitment regiment for you look like? What is that? What is that on a daily, weekly? Leading up to fights, before fights. Staying in shape. Talk
yeah,
about
I
that.
got you. Shit, I just got like a hustler mindset. Like I'm just gonna get ahead and stay ahead. You know what I mean? So I wake up and the first thing I do after I eat breakfast, I go to the gym for strength and conditioning. And then right now it's more just strength training. I still hit the conditioning part, but not as intense as I do during like a fight camp. You know what I
Mm-hmm,
mean?
mm-hmm,
Come
mm-hmm.
home and then I'll run. I do a alternation of my runs. So like Monday, Friday, I do a long 4 or 5 mile run. Tuesday, I do sprints, and then I do distance on top of that, which is usually 2.5 miles. And then on Wednesdays, I do a fast, long run. So it's a long distance, but I try to do it in a short amount of time. You know what I mean? So I'm pushing
Got
myself
you.
for that, like as hard as I can. Come home, eat some lunch, get some time just to like relax. You
He
know?
said lunch. He's just make sure everybody's keeping up.
Yeah,
After all that, then he says time for lunch.
time
Okay,
for lunch,
I
and then
see.
I get a couple hours, get my hands wrapped. Um, Danny, he's my hand wrapper. He usually comes to wrap my hands, or he has the pre-mades. I just tape those up, you know. And then after that, we hit the gym at 3 with my dad, and then probably like 3 to 5 we're there, and that's boxing. Tuesday, Thursdays we usually spar. Saturdays we usually spar for getting ready for fights.
Mhm.
Um, and we just stay sharp. You know what I mean? Mitts, bag work. We throw in some circuits, all that stuff. But that's it. That's kind of like my 3 workouts a day. You know what I mean? And even though I'm not getting ready for a fight or anything, I'll still do them. You know what I mean? Just to keep the habit. I go to the gym in the morning. I run after that, and then I go to boxing at night. And then my mom cooks up a nice dinner.
Right, because that is your nutritionist, right? Yeah,
Yeah, she does. She does a great job, man. Like it's unreal. Like obviously she's my mom, so I'm gonna give her my flowers. But like
absolutely, absolutely.
like she can cook, man, and she does it right when I'm getting ready for fights and helps me cut weight. I never had an issue. I never plateau when I'm cutting weight. I'm
Uh-huh.
always on a downward trend, and
Uh,
I've never had an issue. You know what I mean?
uh-huh,
So
uh-huh.
obviously we're doing something right.
Right, right, right. Because man, like, uh, uh, like Michael Rivera, man, that was him and a lot of fighters unfortunate fortunate for how some of the bodies are reacting to some of these hydration issues and different things like that. So definitely that is definitely a great advantage to have.
Yeah,
Yeah, on the diet.
that's that's one thing is like I'm eating all the way up until I'm eating how I do all the way up until the day before weigh-ins. The day before weigh-ins, that's when you gotta watch because you know you're about to weigh in. You know what I mean? That's the biggest. All right, what am I eating today? What am I drinking today? You know, how much am I working out? All that stuff. Because that last day is probably when you lose your last 4 or 5 pounds or 3 pounds, whatever it is. It's all water weight. So you just gotta do that day right. You know what I mean? And then once you
Yeah,
make weight, you can eat. You know?
yeah. Okay, so that was on your mind at the weigh-in. You're just. I mean, you was looking calm. Calm as a monk. But,
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But also all of that is kind of put on your mind, right? You made
exactly.
sure that you did all the
Well,
right things.
exactly. Well, what we do is we get on that test scale and we test on the official scale and then compare it to our scale in the room. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because there could be alterations. You know, their scale could be this much different or that much different. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure you're on. And then, yeah, when you're waiting, I just lock in. And like you said, think about that good little lunch or breakfast that you're gonna be able to eat. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Drink some water, drink some
Yeah.
Pedialyte, get all rehydrated for the next day.
Yeah, and just for our viewers, don't get it twisted. It's not like, okay, he makes the weight, and then now he's gonna go eat like several pizzas and stuff like
Yeah, nah, nah.
that. but it is a nice
It's a
hearty
meal. Yeah,
hearty
yeah.
meal. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
It's
get
just
some
that.
carbs and you get some good vegetables in, and then drink your water, drink some Pedialyte. You know, it's crazy the things you'll eat when you're cutting weight because I
Yeah.
wouldn't eat all that stuff on a normal basis, but it tastes so good when you're making weight. I'll
Oh
tell you
man, let me look, people. Let me just fill you in on something because I've had to do this before. I've had to make weight things like that for myself. And the first thing he said, carbs. I could not, like, kids, like, you find when you're on a low carb or no carb diet, man, you find out how much stuff has carbs in it. You're just like, it crushes. You just like, so I can't. No, I can't have that. Are you kidding
Nah, yeah.
me?
That's what
But
like
go
our
ahead.
diet. I don't know. Like my mom, she meal prep breakfast and lunch for me, and then dinner. It's still like a healthier dinner than normal, but they eat it with me. You know what I mean? So like my parents are
Ah,
doing it with me. So that's what's
okay,
cool
okay.
too. Is like it's not like I don't know how to exactly say it, but
You're
it's kind of
different
nice
from
to have
everybody
people
else's.
around. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's like at least, and my mom cooks like good dinner still. Like even though it's healthier, it's
Mm,
still a good meal. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
so, but like I said, it's cool seeing everyone around me do it too. You know,
Okay,
if I'm suffering, they're suffering. If I'm fighting, they're fighting.
yeah. And man, so that does bring up another thing that I thought about. Um, your team, um, kind of tell us about your team. You've already said something. I know you got a lot of your dad in you because you said
Mhm.
something, that sounded very, very, very wise, which was get ahead and stay ahead. That sounded like something I was like, yeah, that sounds like an OG has been in his ear. so, tell us about your team, man.
Yeah, so obviously my coach is my dad, and he's been training me since I was a little kid. I've been watching him train my brother since I was born. You know what I mean? Like when I was first taking my first steps and walking around the gym, walking around the bags and stuff, he's telling my brother how to throw a jab. You know what I mean? So, um, a lot of my and like you said, how you kind of brought up that mentality comes from him too. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna do what we need to do and we're gonna do it by all means necessary, and he's a crucial part of my team. And then I got my hand rapper Danny. He's grown up like around our boxing. Well, he's the owner of our boxing gym, but he's grown up with all of us fighters since we're little kids, and now he raps my hands and he does a damn good job at it. Like he can rap some hands, man.
Yeah, yeah.
um um, so there's that, and then I have an advisor, Alonzo. He's my advisor. I think he advises two other fighters now. Um, and then I have Mayweather Promotions, obviously. Leonard Ellerbe, Floyd, Kenny, like you said, all three of those names that you mentioned, they're part of my team as well.
Hmm.
Um, I drew inspiration of boxing from my brother, so I grew up watching him box all the time. Got my mom as my nutritionist, cooking up the meals, and then my sister, she used to back in the day throw hands with me in the sparring and stuff too. So we all fighters, man. But now she watches and she cheers us on from the side. She's just as much as part of it as everyone else. So we all involved, and I got a great team behind me.
Man, you might have to hire her as to run your social media and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, man.
That's funny because I've always told her I'd be joking with her. I'm like, man, like sometimes after fights you get a lot of DMs
Yeah,
or a lot of comments and all that stuff. I'm like, Marissa, one of these days you're gonna have to respond to all these for me or take care of all this stuff for me. You know
yeah,
what I mean? So
yeah,
maybe one day that'll come true. That'd be great.
yeah. Because man, like people, y'all, like man, like you have like these things, right? And it could be like 4 or 5 major things, but the tasks under those things are just so tedious.
Yeah,
And having
exactly.
somebody at least to handle your social media accounts is just like it's a
Nah,
huge deal.
there's so much that goes into it. Like shirts, when I do a shirt order or something like that, my mom, she'll get what are those called? One of those charts where it like fills out with all the names, all the sizes, the quantity, and she has
Yeah,
it all organized, the Excel sheets. That's what she has.
yeah,
She gets
yeah,
those
yeah.
all set up, and she handles all that. But like you said, like down the road, when it's like a lot more orders and a lot more you got to do, man, you got to find a good team for all that, so you don't even have to worry about it. You know what I mean?
Right,
Yeah,
right. And it's coming. It's coming because
yeah.
I think I think you fight if at minimum 2 more times this year at minimum.
Oh
And
yeah, for sure.
yeah, and so I believe 2020, 2024, you know, is that that's when we're gonna probably be looking at eliminators and things like that, or cracking, because right now where they have you ranked at right now?
Um, like by the official organizations and bodies, I think they only do top 50 and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like BoxRec has me around like 200, but it's an
yeah,
unofficial rating, but it's
yeah.
still like a rating that you can base and go off of. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right,
So,
right. Because
but yeah,
I'm thinking 2024. Um, as
start
I
knocking on
say,
some doors.
yeah,
Yeah.
Fringe contender. That's what that's what I expect for you. What do you expect for this year for yourself?
Um, like you said, probably a couple more fights. Um, and then 2024 will definitely be I'll probably finish this year at an 8 rounder. If not, I'll definitely be starting 8 rounders next year. And then, like you said, once you get up to them 8, 10 rounders, you start, like you said, you start creeping, you start finding some people and making a name for yourself with the big timers. You know what I mean? And like beyond the boxing eyes or beyond the boxing fans, like just the people that are just tuning in different fights. Then you start making a name for yourself to those people. That's when you start knocking on some doors. You know?
Because it seems like it didn't take guys like Xander Zayas long and things like that. Like they just excel at those opportunities, and
Hmm.
before long you're looking up like, okay, yeah, we better. And I like to say to some of those guys that Mickey's looking up at the moment, you better get him now before he gets better. Because he's going to be definitely a problem.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna be a problem for anybody that comes my way. I'm not gonna let like you fight me. It's not gonna be easy,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm gonna whoop your ass doing it too.
Yeah, yeah, and you don't you like to do it either way. Like you could, okay, if they can't, if they are not great boxers, you'll shoe shine them up. If that's what it takes. You got a lot of tools in the box. But when I first saw your third fight, and I'm like, man, this dude likes to bang, but he's slick though in the same kind of way. Like I'm trying to figure it out. Like, what does he want to do? Or am I seeing something completely different? A slick inside fighter, which that's not you don't really hear a lot of those kind of guys. Like, so
Nah, that's what
but
like I
yeah,
can move. Like you said, that jab's key, man, and I can touch you up all day. But I like to fight at the end of the day. So if you understand with me, that's a big mistake, and a lot of people underestimate me physically for the way, you know what I mean, just based off my physicality, whatever. But once you start feeling my punches, then you realize, oh, I did make a mistake. You know what I mean? I'll touch you the head, touch you the body, make you start regretting your decisions, and then take you to deep waters, start hurting people. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm excited about.
and it's funny too because I was actually rewatched the Ricardo fight, and it was funny too because it's like, yeah, it looks like you're literally walking down an alley. It's like you're really trying to walk down the alley, and I think on one of those you go left, and then you set up, and just wait on him. And then here comes the uppercut out of nowhere. It's like, wait. It's like, hold on, what? It's like, wait, what a minute, hold on. I didn't even know he was thinking that. But that's what I had meant by, like, you know, you got a lot of tools in the bag and you're very patient,
Yeah.
because it was like, you were cutting, you were doing them dirty to the body, and then setting up that overhand right, and then like you walk left and you just stop, post up, and you wait for him to come to you towards the ropes, and you throw this uppercut, and you have to back up. It's like, whoa, hold on.
We're very versatile in our game, so that's
Yeah.
something that we like. Like I said, we just gotta know when to activate different things. You know what I mean? Start pressing people more when we could, and box people when we need to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's part of the game too, is knowing when to make those decisions. You know what I mean? Because you can box somebody all day too. But sometimes you might need to go for that kill, and I know I have it in me, so I can do both.
Right. And I really think that last fight showed all of those things. Other than the combination, other than throwing combination, like you said, you want to get more aggressive with your combination throwing, things like that, and you're going to start scaring some people, and you know, to where it's like, man, you know, once you get in that high risk, you know, low reward area, you know, like where Boots is and guys like that, man, it's you know, how do you know, looking at how fights and things are made, and what, you know, I guess that's a two-part question. You know, what do you consider a duck? You know, a lot of people, ducking. Like, a lot of people have these different impressions or whatever. Like, what do you consider ducking?
I mean, it's hard to like get it personally, like right now.
Yeah.
Like from like me personally, but like watching like the high level guys do it, like there's always two sides to every story. You know what I mean? So, but if the money's there, and if the money's right, you should be willing to fight, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're two high class fighters, the money's right for each person, and that's what like a lot of people think they're a lot more valuable than they're given credit for, or whatever it is. But if you can make the fight happen, why not let the fight happen? Like, kudos to Tank and Ryan for making that fight happen. You know what I mean? Those two undefeated guys at a high level that are gonna fight. You know what I mean? Benavidez Plant, two guys at a high level that are making it happen. So I don't know. There's a lot of like business
in a way,
side.
you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a way, and Fulton, yeah, they made that fight happen. You know what I mean? Like, fights can be made happen, but it's just like, when it comes to boxing business and behind the scenes, there's a lot more people involved than people know. So you can say this person's a duck or that person's a duck, but I don't know. It's, unless you're dodging fights, which you can by like, I don't know. I see it. Yeah, some people do dodge mandatories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I do understand that, but I don't know. It's hard to call someone that unless you're in the position. You know what I mean? You don't know like what's really going on behind the scenes.
I'll try to be the bad side of Mickey right now. What he's trying to say is, you know, it's like you can do things strategically in negotiations to make yourself unavailable.
Yeah. You can dodge a mandatory, or you can. A lot of shit's done with timing too. You know, like if you're not in a certain position, you can't make those decisions. But if you are, and if you do hold X, Y, and Z belts, whatever, and you have the power to make those decisions. So it I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to say. When you're on the outside looking in.
Yeah, because you know, it's and we do have our business sport edition, but there's so, you know, like I said, when the money's right, you know, for the fighters for one, and the promoters are going to make theirs as well, and different tiers of just how this thing that
Like
structure.
Usyk and Fury just
Yeah,
recently did that, and Usyk took that 70-30. You know what I mean? And hey, good on him because it's still gonna be millions of dollars. But
yeah, yeah.
if he did bring that fight down, let's say they weren't getting paid that much, that 30% isn't that much. You know what I mean? So then he would probably think about it a little bit more. But since it's such
Mhm.
on a high scale, he's
Yeah,
like, I'll take it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. And see, to use his credit, he probably looked at that a lot differently than some other people. Probably looked at it like, if okay, I do this and I handle my business, that's going to say a lot more about your side than my side as far as anything
yep.
negative is concerned. Yeah.
And that leaves a legacy. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
that's bigger than money or boxing, in my opinion. That's a forever name. You know, you beat Tyson Fury, then you're the big dog at heavyweight coming up from light heavy. You know what I mean? Like you were just absolutely demolishing everybody at, and then now you're rocking heavyweight, and then you're the heavyweight champion of the world. You
Yeah.
could technically say the best. You're the best boxer in the world.
After you
You know what I
finish
mean?
that steak, they're like, no charge, champ. No
Yeah,
charge.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It puts him on a different pedestal that he's not on yet. You know, so good on him too.
Okay, so we are towards that portion. We're gonna talk about a couple fun stuff, and then I'll let you go because I know you're about an hour ahead of us here in Vegas, huh? About an
Yeah,
hour.
we ate 16. I don't know if we're the same right now. Are you guys the same?
No, I'm at A16. Yeah, I'm at
Oh, okay,
A16.
so we're the same now. The
Oh, we're
times
the
be
same now.
changing. Yeah,
Oh
we're the
no.
same.
Okay, okay. All right. So, all right. Here we go. Burgers or tacos?
Mm, burger. Just because. Just
Ooh.
because most burger. Well, I don't know. It depends on the taco, like the kind of taco. In my head, it's like, there's a lot of options, so I just go with the burger. Because a
Okay.
barbecue bacon burger seals the deal.
Okay. Uh, so you're young. So let's go. Okay. Sugar Ray or Muhammad Ali?
Boxing questions are hard. Always hard. I mean, I got the Muhammad Ali jacket on right now,
There
the
it
Thriller
is.
Manila.
There it is. There
There's
it
an
is.
anniversary to that fight.
Shout out to Nico
Just
too, man. That's a good guy
a few
too.
days ago, and then I got the Muhammad Ali picture right there. So we'll go with the answer Muhammad Ali just because he's arguably one of the all-time greats, and then obviously Sugar Ray Leonard, same. He's arguably one of the all-time greats, but
Yeah. Yeah.
but I got his stuff on, so we'll throw kudos to him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's our music money team. Muhammad Ali, you're not doing nothing wrong with how you presenting. Okay, so we did that. And what movie have you seen lately that you were very impressed by? You like, man, this is
That's funny you say that. There was this scary movie recently, and I don't like scary movies. And I forget the
what?
name of it.
Okay,
So,
okay.
so that, so, but it was more of like a thriller. It was the one. Ah man, I'm gonna be mad because I don't know the name of it. Oh, Black Phone.
Oh, okay.
When the kids are like getting kidnapped and he's in the basement, he's talking to like the ghosts and stuff.
I couldn't get, man. I turned that thing on, man. For like
Wow,
in the first 15 minutes, I was like, what am I doing? But I guess I have to just be more patient.
you gotta watch that, dude. That was like a good film. Like I left the movie theater. I was like, dang, that was like a movie that I actually was like, wow, that was a good movie.
Yeah.
Creed 3, I just watched that recently too. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
good.
We just watched that. What do you think? What you think about Creed 3?
I thought it was good.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I would put it in like above the middle tier of like Rockies and Creeds, but I wouldn't put it at the very top of all the Rockies and Creeds. You know what I mean?
It's all
But
about
I thought it
four.
was good. I thought it was
It's
good.
all about Rocky 4 at the first. Rocky 4 has to be
Rocky
your favorite.
4.
against Drago when he fought the Russian.
Drago's great. The Apollo Creed fights though are like
Oh,
obviously like
yeah.
great. Like movie film wise, is like the story behind those two is like great. Love the Drago. I love
Mhm.
his street fight with Tommy Gunn in 5. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
Um, so they're all good. 4 is definitely up there. 4 is definitely up there for sure. I would
yeah.
put 4 up there with 1 and 2. You know what I mean? I
Okay.
feel like those 3 are probably top 3.
And
And
3
then
might not get enough credit. You know, I don't hear a lot of people talk about 3.
I don't like 3. That's when Mickey dies, right?
Yeah, Mickey dies, but like it was like probably the most adversity Rocky
Yeah.
had.
Yeah.
Like,
It was just I don't know. I feel like Mr. T as a boxer was just a little off to me. You know what I mean?
like this way or like
No, it just didn't
technique.
sit right. It was just like odd, like seeing him as a the opponent to Rocky Balboa. You know what I mean?
But you know how those opponents exist, you know, where they're all power, you know, they're
Yeah,
all, you know, they're good within the first, you know,
yeah.
4,
You got to get him
5
late.
top. Yeah, but he walked him into deep waters when
Yep,
he
yep,
saw him
yep.
breathing, getting tired because he lost. Remember, he lost, and then he had to go back to the drawing board
Yeah.
and actually kind of
Figure it
learn a
out.
different way to fight. Like
Yeah.
he had to go in the trenches. He had to because he was
That's
used to
when he
see
started.
Hollywood.
That's when he went with the went back with Apollo, and Apollo was coaching him around.
Yeah,
He
yeah, he went
was
on
he was
Hollywood.
see,
Apollo took him to
he
LA.
was
Like,
see.
hold on, you know, you need to,
Yeah, you're right. It probably doesn't get as much credit as it should, but it's just
because that happens. You know, that happens in boxing to
no.
guys.
It is like you said. Some people let their head blow up too big. You know what I mean? And they forget about they forget about their roots and how they started and how they got there in the first place. You
And
know?
now they're wearing purses to press conferences and stuff. I'm
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
I joke, people. I joke, people. But yo,
Hey,
I
he's a
said,
dog. He's a dog, though. He's a dog.
yeah. You know that's the other thing about it, though.
That's
Too.
what he's
That's what
one of
makes
those
you.
people that where he can wear it and he'll back it up. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So it's like
yeah.
if
Yeah.
you do
That's
want
what
to make
creates
a
the person you
statement,
love to hate. That's
yeah,
what that creates. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh man, but no, so I won't say who do you got because you know you're probably cool with both of them. How do you see the fight going? How do you see for both guys?
Mm.
I'll say that. I'll put it that.
So what's funny is, well, obviously I've seen Tank around the Mayweather gym, and then I've seen him spar like with Showtime there, like filming him. You know what I mean? So I was able to like watch that. I saw myself in the background too, little episodes. But he's a dog, man. He's
Yeah.
a dog. My brother actually fought Ryan in the amateurs, Ryan Garcia.
Oh, okay.
My brother also fought Devin Haney, Brandon Lee. You know what I mean? So my
Mm.
brother was a really good amateur as well. But Ryan does have speed that a lot of people don't see before. You know what I mean? So that's gonna be different. I feel like the speed adjustment. But Tank's very patient. I feel like he's gonna take it like he always does. He takes that like he is a patient fighter. He's gonna see the openings and then he's gonna eventually capitalize on them. And then you get hit by Tank, and I know the Tom Brown even said it too. He's like, you get put down by a shot from Tank. He's like, you're not gonna be coming back up, or you're not gonna want to come back up. You know what I mean? Because when you got a killer in the ring, put you down. You know what I mean? They're gonna come to stop the fight. You know,
Yeah.
they're not there to just like. I'm not trying to take anything from Luke Campbell, but after he knocked down Ryan Garcia, he didn't jump on him like he should have. You know,
Right. Right.
he
Yeah.
kind of stayed boxing. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and when they're hurt, that's when you got to take advantage. You know, so I think Ryan shocks a lot of people early, does pretty well early. I not saying that he's gonna be winning rounds. I just think he's gonna do better than what a lot of people are expecting. And then eventually, I know Tank will catch him, and then I think the fight will be stopped. Either by knockout or TKO, whatever it is, because like I said, when a killer's like got that killer mentality and they hurt you, they see blood in the water, they're gonna come and take you out. So
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think that's kind of what's gonna do. Possibly late, Tank has that power though, where it can be any time. You know what I mean? But he's patient, so that's why I say later.
I have it. I have it the same way. I know that my audience could care less about my opinion. We're talking to Micky Scala here, but he did. He did. Mickey has basically validated what I was thinking, which was Tank is just going to be downloading that information
Yeah.
for the first 4 rounds, 3, 4 rounds, and uh, a lot of people make it a lot about Tank's power, but like you said, he's very patient, and his
Hmm.
timing is very very good, and
As
yeah, and timing, can turn a punch that's a pop and make it look like a crack.
uh-huh.
Even though Tank can crack, there is a difference. I'll keep about 10 more minutes, and then but just since I brought that up, fighters who, what's your opinion on the difference between a fighter that can pop and a fighter that can crack?
Yeah. I feel like that comes with like almost like a shock factor, right? Like it's like they can throw one punch and put you down. That's the difference. Like some
Mm.
people got like when you can crack, you can throw a left hook, boom, and it can drop you. You know what I mean? But like convincingly drop you.
Yeah,
Not like a flash knockdown where it's like, oh no, like that'll sit you down and make you think for a little bit.
yeah, yeah,
Um, um, but then there's also like that body pressure power too, where you're kind of throwing your body weight behind your punches, boom, boom, and you're physically wearing down your opponent too. And then you might throw one of those crack shots or one of those pop shots to put them down. You know what I mean? So
mm, mm,
but there is a difference. There are levels of power, and there are those people that can put you down with one shot, or there's those people that gotta like work a little harder to get you stopped. You know what I mean?
mm, mm,
So, so,
mm, mm.
so I do see that. I do obviously think Tank has, like you said, he can crack, man. He can throw.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because, and it's interesting as you were breaking that down, and I'm like, okay, yeah, Tank it does, first. Sometimes it depends on the opponent. I'm like, oh man, he tricked off the first three, for a while, just to carry dude to the fight. But in this one, he's definitely going to be getting that information. It's like, sometimes you slip a punch and you see where your opening is, but you okay, there's that, it's
Uh
there.
huh.
Okay, I got that. He shows you something else. You're like, okay, I can go with that too.
Yep. Yep.
I'll stay in. But I'm gonna stay in, touch you up a little bit.
Would just even think like Leo Santa Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the ropes. He throws a left. It hits Tank the first time. Throws a left, but it hits the gloves of Tank the second time. What are you doing throwing the same fight punch 3 times? He throws it again, slip, boom, it's over. You know
So
what I mean? So it's like
yeah.
you can't uh, be the same to Tank because he that was literally 3 punches. All it took was 3 punches for him to make that one adjustment. You know what I mean?
That's it.
A lot of people would have been happy with catching it. You know what I mean? Instead
Mm-hmm.
of countering it. And when he stepped over into that, oh my gosh, that was mean. That was on Halloween too. I remember we're all watching
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I'll be honest, like Leo, you my guy. What I mean? I always thought like that thing he does where he taps his hips. I always thought like somebody's gonna time that, and
Uh-huh.
but that wasn't that case. But I certainly was like, man, he that whatever it is that a man? Is that like I don't know, I don't want to call it like a tick or something like that, like he has Tourette's or something like that. But like, it's actually we won't ask that question because I don't want to tip anybody off. But there's certain things that
I
fighters
feel like
do.
some people develop certain habits that stick with them from young ages. You know what I mean? Because there
Mhm.
are people that uh, they might get hit with a punch or react to a punch a certain way, and I see it a lot in boxing. Even as an amateur, there's people that I remember. There was a fighter, I forget his name. I can't think of it right now, but he used to always shake his hands.
Oh,
And and
Oh,
his hands always looked. It was pretty
that's
recent.
Leo does that too a little bit, but
It might have been him too, but it was.
yeah.
I think it was someone else also that would always shake their hands, and people would be like, "Oh, are his hands hurt?" But they're not hurt. It's just a habit. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
There's a lot of habits out there, and yeah, some people can capitalize off those bad habits, or they might not be bad habits. You know what I mean? Because
mhm,
they've been doing it for so long, and that's what like every fighter's different. So you got to perfect. Yes, you can take things from different people, but you gotta perfect the way you fight. You know what I mean? At the end of the
mhm,
day, it's how you do it. You're not gonna be able to do everything the same exact way as someone else. You know what I mean? You might be able to mimic some things, but you're your own fighter at the end of the day. So, like I said,
mhm,
you gotta perfect yourself first.
mhm, mhm. Okay, so we got about 5.5 to go. Um, one more fun question. Wait, did what's I got my information wrong? Uh, you're not watching pro wrestling at all, are you? Pro wrestling is not part of.
No, 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 I don't watch
Okay,
pro wrestling, but I hear
okay,
about it here and there. You know what I mean? See some
okay,
highlights.
okay, 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 okay. More WWE guy, AEW. When you do catch it, are you familiar
I've
with the
seen some
differences?
WWE when it's on. I don't even know the other one that you mentioned, so
Okay, okay.
that's
Yeah,
something to know
yeah,
about one.
yeah. People get busted open pretty good up in that one.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
more
yes,
physical.
yeah. Well, yeah. I'll say more willing to put on
Take
a
some
great show.
punishment.
Yeah, I'll put it that way. More willing to put on a great show. So, all right, man. So we got a boxer, puncher, constant adjustment making, educated jab throwing, tough, tough, 6'2", super welterweight. Um, um, 2023. What are you here to accomplish 2023?
Just remain undefeated and uh, establish my name into more eyes. You know what I mean? Get more people's attention. That's one of the biggest things in boxing is not only are you a great fighter, but can you sell out crowds? Are people wanting to watch you? You know what I mean? So I want to bring some more eyes to my name. That's it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Be great in the ring and win. That's it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and then the people watching will come. You know, I already got a big crowd that comes with me anywhere I go. You know what I mean?
I've seen it.
So
I've seen it.
so it don't matter. Like no matter where I go, I'll have a crowd behind me. Like you put me in. I got family in Brooklyn too that came out to my fight. I had like 10 of them come from Brooklyn. But if I went to Brooklyn, I'd have hundreds of them at my fights. You know what I mean? I got cousins, uncles, aunts all the way on the East
Oh, we
Coast.
gotta get you to the Barclays, man.
You know what I mean? And I got diehard crowd out here in Mesa and on the West Coast. I got family. I got family everywhere, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I can bring people. I can bring people anywhere. So
yeah.
like I said, we're just gonna grow that team more and more every single fight. Every fight, it just slowly grows larger and larger. People rooting for you on, wanting to go to
Mm-hmm.
your fights, stuff like that. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
like ever since like my first fight was in high school. No one knew I
Yeah,
really boxed. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
No one really knew I boxed, and then all of a sudden I had that first fight on a Mayweather Promotions card, and then all of a sudden I'm walking through the halls, and they're like,
He's like, oh, you
"Oh,
for real,
good
for real.
fight!" Yeah, like people don't really believe it until they see it. You know what I mean? And I
Mhm.
always people knew that I was a boxer, but everyone says they're a boxer. Or everyone says this or that. You know what I mean? Until they see that, like, oh shit, you the real deal. Like then that makes like an imprint on them. They're like, oh, I want to actually like stay tuned to this kid and see
Yeah,
what he does. You know?
yeah, yeah. All right, so once again, man, he is definitely somebody that you need to go back and watch. Some stuff when you date for whatever reason, a lot of his stuff isn't on YouTube in full. But definitely uh, Go check him out. Here's everything that we talked about. Don't hold it against him that he picked burgers over tacos.
It's crazy.
By choice. But he's his own man.
That's a hard decision because I mean, carne asada tacos go hard.
And you be out here like in Vegas. You telling me, man?
Even out here in Arizona, you're telling me in Arizona too, there's some great tacos.
You in AZ too, yeah.
Micky Scala, all that shit, dude. That's just fire. So I get where you're coming from. But I was just thinking more so like, all right, after a fight, what am I gonna crave more? A big burger or a couple tacos? And I think it's gonna be a burger every time.
Man, last year, my last taco run, man, I slammed about a good 12, 14 of them. I have a problem. But man, we want to thank and stay with this when I click off here. Oh, also before we go, I would love, if you don't mind, to give Combat Lounge a nice drop. You know, a cool Scala in there with the Combat Lounge, yada yada yada.
Oh, I got you, like a little intro thing.
Yeah, like a little drop. So we will do that in 5, 4, 3, 2.
This is the Combat Lounge with Micky Scala. I'm here with Anthony Morrow, and we just had a great interview. Pleasure having you. Pleasure having me. I don't even know what I was saying at the end there. I might have to redo that one.
Okay, we can do that over, but we might keep that too, though, just to keep, just to make you human, man. People love seeing that. But we'll do one more. 4, 3, 2.
This is the Combat Lounge with Micky Scala. Micky Mesa Mick Scala. I'm here with Anthony Morrow, and I had a great time on this interview. Thanks for having me.
All right. So yes, people. I do not cap about the people that I bring on, man. We definitely champion our high profile guests that we've had on the show, but our bread and butters here at the foundation of careers, and we are excited to see what's to come from Mesa Micky Scala.
Sir.
This is Combat Lounge. I'm truly Tony, aka Anthony Morrow, as my mama would call me. And we've had a good day today. We'll see you next time.
All right, thank you.